This is one of the best four favorites I've ever seen. I think all four of these are masterpieces. And you already saw most of the movies I wanted to recommend, so my options were extremely limited, but I tried my best. Your favorites are Rashomon, Sorcerer, Peeping Tom, and Blowout. My top choice for you was Harakiri. It's a samurai film like Rashomon, exploring subjectivity or unreliable perspectives. Like Sorcerer, characters have to make intense life or death decisions. Like Peeping Tom, it was released in the early 60s and is a psychological exploration of human cruelty and moral hypocrisy. And like Blowout, it's about uncovering the truth. Next, I want to recommend Blow Up because this film inspired Blowout. But Blow Up is about the medium of photography instead of sound, which is perfect for you because Peeping Tom is also about a photographer. It's got the existential tension of Sorcerer, but in a more subdued manner. And like Rashomon, this film is about perception and ambiguity. Winter Kills is about a political conspiracy like Blowout. And there's a scene in this movie with an American flag that feels like it may have inspired a scene in Blowout. Plus, both films had the same cinematographer. Like Sorcerer, it came out in the late 70s and involves some high-stakes suspense. Like Peeping Tom, the protagonist is driven by obsession, and the star of Rashomon is in this movie. Clute, like Blowout, involves paranoia, conspiracies, and surveillance. There's a voyeurism element to it, like Peeping Tom. Like Rashomon, there's an investigative feeling of trying to figure out what really happened. And like Sorcerer, there's an atmosphere of dread and paranoia. And Roy Scheider. The Vanishing is about trying to uncover the truth like Rashomon. It's a thriller like Sorcerer. It's about someone investigating a crime like Blowout, and like Peeping Tom, it examines the mind of a killer. Targets like Rashomon shows us different characters' perspectives, but in this film it's two characters whose lives intersect. Like Blowout, one of the characters works in the film industry, and like Peeping Tom, one of the characters is a killer, and the film's about violence, obsession, and fear. Bunny Lake is Missing has characters with conflicting stories about what happened like Rashomon. It's got a buildup of tension like Sorcerer. Like Peeping Tom, it's a psychological thriller about obsession and fear, and Anna Massey is in it. And like Blowout, it involves investigating a crime where the protagonist's perception of reality is called into question, and evidence may or may not have been tampered with or altered in some capacity. Peppermint Candy, like Rashomon, employs a nonlinear narrative in a way that allows the viewer to gradually piece together what happened and recognize how context reshapes our perception of events. Like Sorcerer, there's a feeling of impending doom. Like Peeping Tom, we see how trauma shapes the protagonist and leads to violence and/or self-destruction. Peeping Tom is about a serial killer, and Sorcerer has an incredible score, which makes me want to recommend Tenebrae because it's about a serial killer and has an incredible score. And this is a Giallo film, and stylistically it feels like Blowout was partially inspired by Giallo films. Ugetsu is a 1950s samurai film like Rashomon. Like Sorcerer, it's about the futility of human ambition and greed. And like Peeping Tom, it explores the consequences of obsession or fixation. Since Rashomon shows us a story from different characters' perspectives and explores how they have conflicting versions of what happened, a few other films I think you might appreciate are Hero, The Last Duel, Amores Perros, Witness for the Prosecution, Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, Confessions, A Separation, and Go. Since you're a fan of Sorcerer, I think you might like La Tout because it also has a group of men working together in a suspenseful, high-stakes situation. You also might like Rafifi for similar reasons. Deliverance, like Sorcerer, depicts a group of men on a dangerous journey, and this film had the same cinematographer as Blowout. Since you like Peeping Tom, a couple other films that I think offer intriguing explorations of serial killers are M and Angst. A couple neo-noir crime thrillers I think you'd enjoy since you like Blowout are Collateral and Blood Simple, and another paranoid thriller about an ordinary guy who ends up embroiled in a political conspiracy like Blowout is Marathon Man, and like Sorcerer, Roy Scheider is in this one.